What's up, everybody, and welcome to the latest and actually season finale of the Falcons in Focus
I didn't
podcast
tell you that.
presented by Ticketmaster, and we're ending it in an awesome way. P.S. I'm Scott Bair, that's Tori, McElhaney. MyCole Pruitt is here with us, wrapping up the season. Super excited for this conversation. Before we get to that, I do have to remind you that Ticketmaster is the official ticket marketplace, in addition to being the official sponsor of the Falcons in Focus podcast, the official ticket marketplace of the Falcons and the NFL. So if you want to visit the Dirty Birds at home or away, please do so at Ticketmaster. Log on to Ticketmaster.com/Falcons. That's Ticketmaster.com/Falcons.
There we go. All right, let's get into this with MyCole Pruitt. Here's the thing. Before we got on this, I have to say, I've been pronouncing your name wrong. I've been pronouncing it Michael. Just like regular old Michael. Which, if y'all have seen his name on the highlights when he scores touchdowns,
Which he does a lot.
Pretty frequently, knock on wood. But it's MyCole, spelled exactly like that. MyCole.
Correct.
With a capital C. So it's hilarious that we're starting here because one of the questions that I get asked almost more than anything when covering this team is, why do you spell your name like that? Because I think a lot of people think it's like Michael. And then they say it and they're like, that's an interesting spelling. Scott and I know the story because we've been doing some research.
Oh, you heard the story?
Yeah, so we know the story, but tell the people listening and watching the story of your name.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's a common theme. I've had to correct people in my life. I would
that doesn't
think
make me feel nearly as bad, thank you.
I would think it's simple because it's spelled the way it's
Exactly
sounds.
as it's pronounced.
We even put the capital C to emphasize.
Yeah.
But
It's like MyCole.
yeah. So the story is my mom's name is Colette, and obviously the first part of her name is Cole. She told me that Cole means victory, and basically my victory is how she came up with that. And you know, it's a nice little sweet story. So
Yeah. No, it's great. Now for you, that's like, I love names and the meanings of names. I think that's really cool. Like I know I've heard the story of like Bajan Robinson's name, like his mom, and that being like a perfume or a cologne that she was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Persian based, and it was this like Persian cologne that she was like, that's a cool name, and it means like my hero or hero, and yours being, you know, my victory, essentially. I think it like takes on a lot of ownership when your story kind of matches your name. So for you, how do you feel like you've kind of embodied the name that you were given from your mom being like, hey, my son is my victory?
Yeah. I feel like I've had a few wins in my life. It's going pretty well so far, and you know, I was able to take me and my family out of a kind of a bad situation. Didn't grow up with much, and kind of struggling a little bit. Was able to through this game take my family and put them in a better place. So I feel like that's a win. That's a victory. So yeah.
I don't know if there's a story that can describe what your mom means to you. If there's like an example of her going way out of her way, or just, you know, being something special, like some way to tell other people who don't know this dynamic, kind of like what she's meant to you along this journey. Because you talk about trying to help your family. Well, like, how did your family help you?
Yeah, my mom, a single parent, you know, kind of the story of a lot of guys, a single parent, 4 kids. I was the oldest, and basically she put everything aside to take care of us and to pour into us as much as she possibly could. I don't know if I have just a specific story. One story comes to mind that's not really like just so sweet. It's kind of like crazy.
Okay. I'm in for it.
I know, this is sometimes the best stories.
Yeah. It was just one time we was out to eat, and my mom had never really ate steak before, and we was at kind of like a Texas Roadhouse or something. So I was like, just try the steak, it's pretty good. So she tried it, and she ended up starting to choke.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she's starting to choke, and then like choking really bad. So I get up and really had to like do the Heimlich and like basically save her life.
Wow.
And it's kind of like crazy to think about, like, it kind of got me emotional afterwards just to think like, wow, this really happened. Like,
yeah.
And I was able to that's my first time ever doing a Heimlich. I didn't know,
Right.
I didn't,
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know how to do it.
Yeah.
And she spit the chunk of steak out and was able to, keep pushing. But
just like how important it was for you in that moment. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that this.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which kind of brings you back to earth. Like, wow, this person's so important to me. I'm so glad it ended up.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
You know.
Exactly. So it was a crazy event, but she'll probably never eat steak again. But
That was my next question. Was like, has she?
I'd probably be out on that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
That just embodies kind of the love I have for her, and hopefully we never run into something like that.
No, definitely not. So for you, you went to Kirkland High School. Is that Kirkwood High School in Missouri?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For you, you played football, basketball, track and field, but also volleyball.
I tried it.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was so
different.
Yeah, when we're looking and we're doing research, it's like, oh yeah, MyCole Pruitt, volleyball player, and it's like, I need to know how you got into volleyball, how long you played volleyball. What's the story of MyCole Pruitt playing volleyball?
Volleyball was just like, it was a one-off.
That's what I told Scott before. I was like, I guarantee you they asked him, they could see that he could jump,
Yeah.
and he's tall, and they're like, let's get him out there.
One of my good friends on the football team, he was like 6'8", and a guy who was really good at volleyball. Actually went to MIT to play volleyball.
Oh shoot!
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Name was Patrick Vatterott. He kind of like, well, it came down to I did track and they're at the same season.
Right.
Right.
It was just one year where I was just like, I want to do something different. So my guy plays, and then I got another guy on the football team to come out and play, and we all just joined the volleyball team, and we just had a great time, man.
Yeah.
Like, just going out there, jumping as high as you can, spiking the ball. Like, it's fun to play volleyball. Like, a lot of people don't really think of it that way, but it was a great time that year, and the team was actually pretty good, so it was a fun time.
I mean, you had
have
a guy
to be an athlete. To do
Yeah,
it.
no, you 100% do. One of my favorite. I covered UGA volleyball circa like 2016, 17, and I had the best time.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I would just be amazed at what they were able to do. And did you kind of gain a respect for the game when you did play?
Definitely,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of nuances to every sport that you don't realize when you don't play, but getting into it, you realize that it's a lot harder. Like, probably the craziest thing, like getting spiked in the face with volleyball, and just that
that's
feeling.
gonna happen.
Yeah, like
Too often.
that feeling is crazy. Like, you just feel it for a good 10 minutes afterwards. Your face is just red, and so yeah, I got a different level of respect for volleyball players.
Right, yeah. Do you think now during training camp they actually had some professional volleyball players that came?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Did you get to pass the ball a little
I
bit?
passed
with
it
them?
back to him. It was a little off. I'm a little rusty. But
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit, but like you got it there, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No. Do you think who are some other guys? I know there are some other guys who've
Yeah.
played volleyball before. If you were making a team for volleyball, who would be that team on this Falcons team?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they say Frank Darby.
Yes, Frank
played,
Darby.
He probably played more than me. They say he was pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
I've seen him play. I saw some
Yeah.
videos and I was like, all right, Frank.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take Frank with the first pick.
All right.
In our volleyball draft.
Yeah,
Right, yeah. He's
definitely.
probably like a back row like libero or
I
something.
feel that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
he's jittery, so
Right,
he can
exactly.
he can get around any.
He's some good twitch. Yeah.
And then definitely Drake, because that
Yep.
man gets up. He gets
Yeah.
up.
That makes sense.
You gotta have Calais in the middle, because come on now.
I mean, middle blocker.
He just stands there.
We don't know if Calais can jump very high, but he don't have
you don't
to.
have to.
Just arms
stand
straight to
over
the
it, like,
sky.
Calais in the middle for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and play the right side.
Right.
man.
Yeah. Okay. Now
Because
you
I
need
think
two-
Drake's left-handed too, so he
that
he
works.
on the left
Okay.
side.
Great. Okay.
And
So
then-
you Drake Calais in the front, Frank Darby in the middle back. You
Yeah.
need two more.
I'll probably go with Scotty.
Okay. Okay.
Scotty back there digging them out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then who else would I go with?
I heard Desmond Ritter
Yeah,
actually played
Did
a
he
little.
play?
I've
Yeah,
heard
I
he
think he
played a
played
little bit
a
of
little
of
bit.
volleyball too.
I can see Dez doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dez could probably hit from the back too.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
he's
yeah.
got the
Yeah.
arm, so he's your service guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would.
I mean,
I I would take that show on the
That's
road
a pretty
for sure.
That's a pretty stacked team. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I would love to see that.
But again, just Calais in the middle.
Right,
And then-
yeah.
Well, but then you also have MyCole. I mean, seeing that
Oh,
go
yeah.
straight up, straight
Yeah.
down.
Drake just-
I would not want to get hit anywhere
No.
with a volleyball coming from
It's
you.
coming.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
It's coming. You better watch out.
Oh, that's so great. I love that so much. So I guess so we have the volleyball story.
Right.
But I guess now we need to move on to your college days.
Sure.
Southern Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
When you were kind of making the decision to pursue football, how long had you been playing football? Because we read something that you'd only been playing football in like high school. Didn't really play that much before then.
I was a big basketball guy when I was a kid. I wanted to go to NBA bad.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play ball, man. Kobe, my favorite player, rest in peace. But that was the thing I wanted to do bad, and I played in high school for sure. But my freshman year in high school, some of the guys on the team, I think some of the coaches actually saw me and was like, this guy's too big to not play football. Like,
Right.
come play. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I only played in the park here and there, but and shoot, starting out, I was real rough around the edges. But it became something that I polished up and got good at, and I didn't grow any taller. I didn't grow to 6'8" and stuff like that. So football became the better opportunity for me. I really only had two major offers out of college, one from Missouri State and one from Southern Illinois, and I actually thought I was smart at first, and I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. And
Right, yeah.
Southern Illinois had the best engineering program
Right.
around at the time, so I was like, yeah, let me just go here and get a good degree and play some ball, because I wasn't too much thinking about the NFL. Like, I just started playing football a couple years ago.
Right,
so
yeah.
if it happened to happen, but if not, I'm gonna fall back on this degree. So that's how I ended up going there.
So you were a pretty good defensive lineman.
Yeah,
Time
yeah,
all
yeah.
conference too. Were you getting recruited specifically to be a tight end, or were you like?
It was like minimal noise for me to be a DN.
Okay, but as a tight
as
end,
a tight end, there was
a
lot
possibility.
More. Yeah, so
and then you take that and you turn that into All-American status
Yeah.
more than once.
First
Yeah, a
player
couple
in
times.
school history to be named a consensus All-American in back-to-back seasons. Did you know that about yourself?
I may have read that.
Right, I read that
once or
somewhere.
twice. Okay, so
great.
so then when did the NFL become a thing that entered your mind as a realistic
Yeah.
possibility?
Yeah, so I redshirted my first year and just kind of got a chance to get a little stronger and learn the game a little bit more, polish up a few more things. And then the next year, when I came on the scene finally, I was the leading receiver right away.
Wow.
So after that year, scouts started coming to the school and checking me out and stuff, and I just kept getting better every year. And obviously, I realized at that point that they were coming for me, and this is a real possibility. So let's go ahead and do this thing.
So there's something that we've recently added to the podcast, and it's a segment called Explain Yourself. And it's kind of like a true false, and it's like something that we've uncovered through our journalistic endeavors.
Okay.
And you have to tell us if this story is true or false.
Because it sounds like a crazy story.
It does sound like a crazy story. Okay, so true or false, explain yourself. One time you played an entire half of football with a broken leg.
Yeah,
That's
That's
true?
true.
Okay.
true.
When, where,
Okay, now
how?
explain yourself. Yeah.
Now explain yourself.
I believe that was my sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year. Basically, I had a stress fracture that was the worst stress fracture you can have.
Great. Solid.
So I just thought it was shin splints at first, so I didn't think nothing of it. But I kind of got hit and felt it, and just like, all right, I'm just gonna play through this.
Yeah.
It was actually against Missouri State,
wow.
and I ended up finishing out the game. But after that, I missed the rest of the season. It was only 2 games left. Missed the rest of the season, and had to get a metal rod in my leg, which is still there.
Oh, shit, bro.
So that was fun, but I did play on a
broken
stretch fractured leg.
Fractured
Wow.
leg for an entire half.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's some mental fortitude in addition to.
Well, honestly, the adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
probably just didn't
After
feel
I
it.
left the field, though, I couldn't walk.
You're like,
Wait a minute.
nah, fam, can't do it.
That's crazy. I think your journey is a story into the NFL. Well, from only having 2 offers, and then you get that, and then you make the most of this opportunity, and then you get to the NFL, and it's
You
just,
get the combine invite,
Right.
which I think is pretty cool in and of
let's
itself,
go.
because there are a lot of FCS like people who don't get
who
to
don't
go to the
get the
combine.
opportunity,
Right.
Because that's, if you're a smaller school, that's how you gauge where you are on a national level. How big of a deal was that?
I think that was a pretty big deal. I didn't realize it at first, how many guys really don't get invited.
Right, yeah.
So I was just taking it as for what it was, and I went to go train right out of college, right when I graduated, and was able to help my start out with the 40. So that was one of the biggest things at the combine. You want to run a fast 40. So when I got there, I felt prepared and ended up running the fastest time for the tight ends at that combine. Obviously not the fast time now, but
But at that combine,
at that combine I ran the
2015.
fastest time. So that kind of
Yeah.
got me on the map.
Awesome.
Whereas I don't even know if I would have got drafted before that. So that ended up going a long way.
Yeah. When we talk about like the training and the process and really kind of putting a lot into running that 40 time, what goes into that? Because I've always been, it's one of those things where it's like, can speed be taught? So was it something for you where you're like, I know how to shave like half a second off? I don't know if that's even possible, but
to shave time and
Right.
to really actively get faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
was that something that you were actively doing?
It was a lot of things about technique. I went down to Pete Bomarito. Free shout out for Pete.
Ding.
I went down there and it was a lot of things about technique on the start, on the running, mechanics, and they helped me a lot. Whereas without it, I don't know if I would have been able to run as fast as I did. But like I said, it went a long way.
Do you think you can get close to that 40 time now?
No.
Here we are, 9
I'm a
seasons
different
in.
player now. The speed is still there,
Right.
but it's not as necessary
Yeah,
at this
right.
point.
Yeah, understandable.
Was it a thing where you look up at the, at the screen, or you're talking to your representative? When did that time everybody, or like around you say, hey, no, this is massive for you?
Yeah. So at first, they have the unofficial times.
Right.
So I wasn't up there at first.
Interesting.
And then they came back with the official times and said, oh, you actually ran a 4.58. That's the fastest time. So they had a thing that was if you wear these Adidas spikes and you run the fastest time out of your position group, you win $10,000.
Tremendous.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know this.
So yeah, I wore those spikes, ran the fastest time, and won $10,000. I got to meet Snoop Dogg.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, now.
So that's how I do. Like, oh, this is a pretty big deal, man. This is cool. I got $10,000. I met Snoop Dogg, and that's a great way to start your career.
Well, now I have
I would say so.
What was Snoop Dogg like?
Snoop Dogg is just cool, man.
He's
just
cool,
laid back, just
chill.
the guy you want to talk to. I told him he knew why I was there because
Right.
I ran the fast. As you should, like, you deserve it. Like, this is going to push you forward. So he was giving me good words. He has football team too. He coaches kids, and he was giving me encouraging words and stuff. And it was good.
Oh, Snoop Dogg, words of advice.
Don't you love it when you come
Honestly,
across a great story like that?
I
that was
honestly-
not in the notes.
Yeah.
And I'd love it.
That's
Absolutely
a free
love
bit of information.
It
for
really
everybody.
is.
Oh
Tremendous.
my gosh. So then you get drafted 5th round to the Vikings. And I think from there, your journey through the NFL is one that I think shows not just people in the league, but people who are fans of the game, someone who has gone through a lot and been like resilient through it all. Because I literally wrote down, it's like, okay, with the Vikings, 18 months later, cut, waived, and put on the practice squad in like a span of a day. And then signed with the Bears. 9 months later, cut. Signed with the Bills. 10 days later, cut. Texans, practice squad. Titans, there for 2 years. Finally get a chance to really get going. 49ers, back to the Titans. Now with the Falcons. At what point in that journey did you kind of sit back and be like, maybe almost to a certain extent of like, should I keep going? Like questioning, do I keep going? Do I keep trying this? Or is this something where like maybe I try something else? Like, was there ever a point in that journey? Because I feel like a lot of people get halfway through what I just named and they're like, I'll try something else. But was that ever a thought for you?
I don't think that was ever a thought. I always knew that I had the talent to play in this league and to really make an impact in this league. I think it was a turning point in my career, probably in Houston. It was a time where I was on practice squad for the whole year, and our tight ends kept getting hurt. So I felt like I was doing enough in practice to really be moved up, but I never got moved up. So I got kind of bitter about it, and kind of dejected and disheartened about it, and really wasn't coming to work with the right mindset and the right attitude. So it was finally come to the end of the year, and okay, somebody else got hurt. Now it's your shot. So when I got in the game, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and I put bad tape out there. I put negative things on film, and from that point on, I said I would never not be ready again. Like I'm gonna, whatever I have to do to carve out my niche, that's what I'm gonna do. So I pretty much just never allowed that situation to come up again. So whatever it was, whatever I had to do, like once I got to Tennessee, it was okay. I came from being one of the best pass catching tight ends in college football to okay, now you got to learn how to block. Now you got to change your entire game and carve out a niche for yourself. And like I said, I wasn't gonna let myself not be ready for that opportunity when it came.
That's such a good point, too, that you talk about this specific time, because right after you're with the Texans is when you get the opportunity with the Titans. And those couple of years with the Titans was kind of where it almost felt like you really cemented yourself and really had more opportunities go your way. What were those 2 years or couple of years like for you as you're also playing with guys like Rashaan Evans and Jonnu Smith, people who, you know, the people in this building know, and Arthur Smith's there. I mean, what was that time period like?
Yeah, Art was my tight end coach when I first got there.
Is he still the same guy?
He's still the same guy. He's just, you know, a little more stern. He got to coach the whole team.
Right, yeah.
It's not just us in the room kicking it and having fun. So, no, but he's still the same guy, man. But those couple of years where they had their ups and downs, like I said, it was, I don't even know, like, I would probably call it like identity crisis sometimes.
Really?
Because I felt like, man, I could do these things in the pass game, and I want to be able to contribute more to this team, but we need you to be a blocker. We need, so I embodied that and really, like, grew up in those years, like, to where it's like, whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it. And that, you know, that helps you in life as well. Like, whatever needs to be done, especially as a man, you have to step up and do it.
Yep.
So this is the way that I provide for my family, and if it's this route that I got to go, that's the way I'm gonna do it. And it's paid off.
Yeah.
From a life, you know, from outside of football perspective, and you're kind of bouncing around, and I don't know if you're staying in hotels sometimes, or you know, never really have a home. I mean, but you're dealing with all of these things too.
Yeah.
You know? You know, and then to finally go to Tennessee and be here, right, and be such a trusted part of this offense, I guess. Like, what's that transition like, right? You're bouncing all around, you know, and then you kind of, from outside of football, okay, I'm in Tennessee for a while, or I'm in Atlanta for a while, you know, and making those contributions.
Stability is fleeting in this business. So even while I was in Tennessee for 4 years, like she said, I was. My contract was up there, and I had to go to the 49ers and come back.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I'm on 1 year deals since then. So it's really, it's really up in the air every year.
Yeah.
But it's about the mental fortitude and being able to realize that, like I said, whenever that opportunity comes, you go out there and take advantage of it. It's hard, but it's something that a lot of guys got to deal with. And if you can overcome that, you can go a ways.
I go back to what you were saying at the start of this whole thing, when you were saying, that you maybe didn't have a lot and you kind of had to earn everything that you got, and then you got this opportunity to go play high school football, and you turned it into consecutive All-American status, right? And then you grinded through the hard times. This is personally now, as an adult, and then you adapt and then figure it out. There's some parallels to that journey that maybe, you talk about the mental fortitude. You really have to have that, and it seems like you've had that for a long time.
Yeah. It's a lot of battles, man. You look in the mirror and you really find out what you're about.
Yeah.
And when you go out there on that field, that's one of the biggest mental battles. It's very physical, but it's a lot mental that you got to overcome as well. So, but it's been fun though.
Yeah, right.
Through it all, it's been fun.
No, well, that's what I was
gonna
gonna say. Is like I don't know if you know this, and I don't even know if I've ever told this story anywhere. But the day that you came back to Atlanta this past year, when you signed back here, it was I want to say it was like when players report back, and that was like, I remember because I was in a room, y'all were all doing y'all's headshots with Shauna, our team photographer, and I was in that room with her, and you walked through, and all I could hear was just guys going, "Whoo!"
That's right.
Everyone was so excited to have you back, and in that moment, kind of where you do get to be here for another year, and you get to come back to a team that, I think a lot of the locker room really believes in this team and this coaching staff and everything. But what did that kind of mean to you in that moment?
It meant a lot, man. You build relationships in that locker room, and that means a lot, man. Some of those guys, like, especially you move teams, you never know if you're gonna see these guys again or whatnot. But when you come back and you get that type of reception, even the story that came about AJ saying something in the media.
AJ, for those that don't know,
that's right. He kind of broke
Terrell
some news.
broke the news of MyCole's signing because you had not officially signed yet. Like, we knew you were in the building, but like we weren't announcing it yet because I don't think everything was a done deal. AJ goes out in front of everyone. He's like, it's nice to see Prue back in the building, and it's like he's not back in the building. AJ, I vividly remember that was so funny.
Man, that's my guy, man. So I that means that I'm making an impact.
Yeah.
And people really love me being around.
Yeah, there was I can't remember if it was Dez or if it was Taylor, but they'd thrown a touchdown pass to you, and it was one of those things where he was like, I know if I just put it in Prue's vicinity, good things are going to happen, right? And
it may have been the Jets touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you hear things like that, and you see, like the volume of touch, like when it really matters, when you got to have a catch, right? It goes to you a lot, and you're right. Like you talk about the fun aspect of it.
That's fun.
Yeah, those moments are fun. Hearing people shout your name throughout the bit, like that's fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think it shows by the way that I've celebrated some of these touchdowns. Like,
sir.
I kind of come out of my body like I don't have a plan. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just whatever I feel, the passion, the whatever emotions, they all come out and that's just the love of the game right there.
I love it. Now, I also want to ask this question, and we're kind of going back in time a little bit, but before we get to like our rapid fire, which is a segment that ends the show, before we get to that, I want to go back to mid-pandemic, 2020.
I'm very excited about this.
Okay.
There is a story that you actually, during the height of the pandemic, you worked out with your sister, Joelle, who is a fitness instructor, trainer. Yeah, she's really, really big into the fitness world. Take us into one of those workouts. What was that workout like, and how good is she as like a motivator and personal trainer for you?
So she's a CrossFit trainer.
Ooh,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's something that
That's different than just a regular trainer. Yeah.
So that's something that's a new area for me.
Right. Yeah.
So some of these workouts are okay. We're gonna run them out. Then we're gonna come in and do cleans, and then we're gonna do squats right after that. Then we're gonna hop on the bike, and so she had me gassed. She had me gassed. So I'm okay. This is good work. So I'm gonna keep coming.
Yeah.
And she's real passionate about it. She's in the competitions and all that type of stuff. And you know, we had a good little session that off season. And my boy actually, Ahmad Hicks, my best friend from high school, he was working for the news station at the time. And I'm gonna do a story on you guys. So it ended up getting on the news.
Y'all's little workout, family workout.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
How is she? Is she like is she hard on you? Like, is she like vocal, or is she kind of like, I'm gonna do it, you can do it if you want to?
She's a lead by example.
Okay.
She's a lead by example, and she's not lifting no light weights now.
No, I bet not.
And I can't. I got to go up from that.
Right. Yeah. Can't have other people beating you in the competition and everything like that. But that's really cool. I think that's really awesome. I didn't know that there was like the CrossFit. That adds a little
that
something.
kind of
Yeah,
it up
sure,
a little bit.
for sure.
Oh man. All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
You ready for some rapid fire questions?
All right, let's
So-
do it.
Everybody gets relatively the same 5 questions.
Okay.
But you answer it how you feel.
Okay.
What is your favorite play of your career? And this can be high school, college, pros. Favorite play of your career?
My whole career.
Whole career.
I think my favorite play happened this year
Really?
Really?
Which one?
in the Jets game.
Really? The touchdown?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that touchdown.
I mean, that was a pretty sick touchdown. That was a pretty good catch.
I think that was probably my best touchdown catch.
Wow.
Why do you
In
say
the
that?
rain,
Right? I mean, yeah.
diving, having to
Right.
get 2 feet down.
Uh-huh.
It's just like everything came together in that moment, and it was the only touchdown of the game. And
I mean, that adds something too. I mean, that was such a like grind, that game, because of the weather is so gross.
What's the feeling? I don't know if you can describe it, but after a moment like that, it's pure adrenaline. It's happening so fast. Bam, catch it, touchdown. Is there a way to describe what that feeling is next?
I don't even know if I can
Elation.
describe pure elation,
Yeah.
pure
Yeah.
joy, just
Just so excited.
yelling, screaming, just everybody jumping on you.
Right.
Like it's just, adrenaline just
Yeah.
running at its highest.
So good. So good.
I think we might know the answer to this question already, but your favorite athlete, regardless
Oh, yeah.
of sports.
Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe
Bryant.
Mamba mentality.
That's my man. Everything that he embodies is something I try to model my mentality after.
Right.
And man, you just can't deny some of the things that he was able to do and the way he went about doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always great when guys get in the chair and they go Kobe or LeBron, like almost every single time.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Because that's like our generation.
That's what we grew up with.
That's what
Yeah.
we grew up with, like Kobe or LeBron. Question number 3: what's a TV show or movie that you would recommend to the listeners?
Oh, that would recommend. What am I watching right now? I like the show Fargo.
Fargo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the first. I've seen them all, but I'm just getting caught up on the first season, and it's excellent as well. Kind of like like they can build suspense in a weird way that you're just like,
very
oh my
well.
gosh, I
Very
don't know what's
well.
happening now.
Okay, note to self. Fargo.
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
Okay, is there a food, whether it's something homemade or a restaurant in Atlanta or back home or anywhere, that you've got to have, a favorite of yours?
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie. Who's making it?
Well, back in the day, my best friend Ahmad, I was talking about his mother used to make them every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, and I
that's
used to
great.
come over, and she would give me a pie to go home with,
Oh,
a whole
that's a
pie, because she
score.
knew how much I loved them. So it's been a while since I was able to do that.
Right.
So now, my girlfriend Lauren actually has learned how to make sweet potato pie.
Oh, that's it right there.
That's
And
fantastic.
she found the key to my heart. So
I mean, what's the saying? A way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It's just like
Accurate.
the sweet potato
it's
pie.
very true. It's very true.
accurate.
All right, last question. We'll get you out of here. If you could have a superpower, what superpower would you have, and why?
Oh, man.
I know. There are a lot.
There are a lot. I would probably teleport.
Teleport. That's always a good one.
Just to be anywhere at any time that I want to be, like not have to worry about travel. Like,
yeah, no, that's
as someone. I was on the road because I went home. I live around Chattanooga, Tennessee, and so I'm about 3 hours from here. And I got up this morning because I spent Christmas with my family, and I drove up here, and I was like, it really would be great if I could teleport.
See, we went to the movies on Christmas. It's pouring down, raining.
You're just like,
I had to drive in that, see if I could teleport back home. It would
and
be
then just
perfect.
go right to it, have the popcorn already there.
Yeah.
We're set.
Amazing.
That is fantastic and really a great way to end it.
Yeah.
MyCole Pruitt, thank you so much for joining us on the season finale of the Falcons in Focus podcast presented by Ticketmaster. It's been such a fun year, kind of really getting to know, the players and on a different level. Not how did you do last week, but you find out so many new and cool things. So hopefully,
like he's best friends with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how I'm telling the story from now on. It's like
I like that story.
That's the way
I like
it
that
goes.
version.
So please rate, review, and subscribe to the Atlanta Falcons Podcast Network on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and also subscribe to the Atlanta Falcons page on YouTube, where you can watch the video version of this podcast as well. So excited to end this on such a high note. Thanks, everybody, for listening all season long. It's been a blast, and we will talk to you again, not next September, but next kind of free agent off season.
We'll see you in 2024.
Absolutely, we will. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you again real soon. See ya.
Finish with a bang.
Woo!